Young and the Restless Spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, besties. Today is Wednesday, a beautiful day to completely lose our minds over the absolute cinematic mayhem happening in Genoa City. We are serving piping hot, unfiltered tea today, so grab your emotional support water bottles, buckle up, and prepare for the ride of your life because things are about to get wild. Stop what you are doing. I am literally shaking. You guys, I am deceased. I literally cannot even process the absolute, unadulterated chaos that just unfolded on my screen. I am hyperventilating right now. Send help, my soul has actually left my body. We need to talk about this now, because if I hold this in for one more second, I am genuinely going to spontaneously combust. I was mid-skincare routine, literally had a charcoal mask smeared all over my face and dripping onto my expensive rug. And I had to straight up yeet my phone across the room because the sheer audacity of what just happened is too much for my fragile human psyche to handle. Jill Abbott has officially returned to Genoa City, and let me tell you, she did not come to play, she came to destroy lives. I am physically vibrating from the stress of it all. Like, bestie, be for real right now. Why is this woman so obsessed with obliterating her own son's happiness? It is giving major villain origin story. And I am officially putting her on my do not perceive list. I am so done. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. Okay, let me collect my thoughts because my brain is visibly buffering right now. So, Jill rolls back into town, right? And she immediately starts dropping these apocalyptic warnings about a massive trouble brewing. Like, she is literally marching around Genoa City acting like she is the harbinger of doom, wearing what I can only describe as the most aggressively tailored blazer I have ever seen. Which is honestly so unhinged, by the way, who wears a wool blazer indoors with that much tension? But anyway, Jill has always, and I mean always, made it her personal mission to sabotage Billy's relationships. Did I say that yet? Ooh, my brain is mush. Moving on, she cannot stand seeing Billy happy. It is like she has a radar for his joy and immediately deploys a tactical strike to ruin it. From Chloe to Victoria, to Lily, and now to Sally, Jill genuinely believes that no woman on this planet is good enough for her precious, chaotic son and her current target. The one and only Sally Spectra. Oh, hold on, I should have mentioned this earlier, but the vibes between Jill and Sally have always been straight up rancid. Like, toxic waste level of bad vibes. Jill looks at Sally like she is a piece of gum stuck to her designer heel. And Sally is not one to just roll over and take it. She is a fighter. She clawed her way up from the bottom, survived the Los Angeles fashion scene, survived the Newman family's endless torture, and she is not about to let Jill Abbott intimidate her. But you guys, the stakes right now are astronomical. Sally is pregnant. She is carrying a whole literal child, and she just wants Billy to be the father, even though we all know there is a massive dark secret lingering over this paternity situation with the whole Victoria slapping her and Audra digging up dirt. But Jill doesn't care about any of that nuance. Jill just sees a threat. She sees Sally as this chaotic force that is going to drag Billy down into the mud, and she is absolutely determined to rip them apart. I am genuinely spiraling over the psychological warfare happening here. It is a high-octane psychological masterpiece, and I am the unwilling victim watching it unfold. So, this brings us to the night that has literally altered my brain chemistry forever. I am still glitching just thinking about it. Jill corners Sally. It is late. The lighting is incredibly dramatic like. Why was the room so dimly lit? It was giving major film noir, impending doom aesthetic. And don't even get me started on the background noise. There was this low humming sound, like an AC unit or a refrigerator or something, and it was just adding to the sheer anxiety of the scene. It was like a metronome counting down to a disaster. Anyway, back to the main event. Jill looks Sally dead in the eye, her posture completely rigid, and straight up demands that she leave Genoa City. Just pack up her life, her baby, her ambitions, and vanish into the night. The sheer audacity. I was screaming at my TV. I was like, Jill, you cannot just banish people like it's the 1800s. You are not a monarch, but she genuinely thinks she has that kind of power over the universe. And Sally, our fiery, stubborn, red-headed queen, absolutely refuses. She stands her ground. She basically tells Jill to back off, that she is not going anywhere, and that Billy is her future, whether Jill likes it or not. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a literal chainsaw. They are basically circling each other like gladiators in a very chic, very tense arena. The dialogue was flying so fast, it was like a verbal tennis match from hell. Jill is throwing daggers with her words, calling Sally a gold digger, a mistake, a desperate grifter, a disaster waiting to happen. And Sally is firing right back, defending her love, defending her unborn child, defending her right to exist in this town. I was sweating. I am literally sweating right now just retelling it. The emotional weight of this conversation was crushing. You could feel decades of Jill's control issues clashing with Sally's desperate need for stability. Then, oh my God, I cannot even say it without my heart rate spiking, the argument escalates. It goes from a verbal sparring match to a full-blown physical confrontation. They step closer to each other. The personal space is completely violated. Jill is pointing her finger, jabbing it into the air right in front of Sally's face, and Sally is pushing back, batting Jill's hand away, and then they lunge. They are literally in each other's faces, grabbing arms, shoving. It is messy, it is unfiltered, and it is so incredibly dangerous. I am clutching my chest because I know exactly where this is going, and I am powerless to stop it. This is why I have trust issues with this show. They build you up just to tear your soul apart. I am watching two grown women, one of whom is carrying a high-risk pregnancy, physically fighting in a living room, and I am just screaming, stop. Someone call security, call Victor, call anyone. In the midst of this chaotic scuffle, Jill shoves Sally. It wasn't a calculated, murderous push, but it was a push fueled by pure, unadulterated rage and frustration. It was a visceral reaction, a physical manifestation of Jill's desire to just push Sally out of Billy's life, and Sally loses her footing. You guys, it happened in what felt like horrifying slow motion. The way her body twisted, the look of absolute, soul-crushing terror on her face, the way her hands instinctively flew to her stomach to protect the baby, it was cinematic trauma. She falls hard. She hits the ground, and the thud. The sound design team deserves an Emmy and jail time for that sound, because it will haunt my nightmares forever. The sickening impact of her body against the floor echoed in my living room, and I swear to you, my heart stopped beating. I stopped breathing. I literally forgot how to inhale oxygen. Sally is on the floor, gasping, curling into a fetal position, clutching her abdomen in sheer agony. And then, the blood. The absolute sheer amount of blood. It was everywhere, my jaw unhinged. I was screaming into my pillow, "No! No, not the baby, not Sally, not again." We all know Sally has already lost baby Ava. She has already been through the unimaginable grief of losing a child, and now this. The way the camera panned down to the pool of crimson spreading across the floor, it was a visual gut punch. I am personally attacked by this writing choice. I am so emotionally damaged by this specific betrayal. How could they do this to us? How could they take a woman who has fought so hard for a sliver of happiness and subject her to this level of visceral horror? Jill's reaction was straight-up chilling, but also pathetic. She freezes. The anger completely drains from her face, replaced by this hollow, horrified realization of what she just did. She is staring at her hands, staring at Sally, completely paralyzed by the gravity of her actions. Bestie, you just potentially committed manslaughter on your grandchild. Like, what is the protocol here? Do you call 911? Do you run? Do you try to stop the bleeding? Jill just stood there buffering, looking like a glitching NPC, while Sally is literally bleeding out on the expensive flooring. It was the most unhinged, disturbing thing I have ever witnessed on daytime television. The silence in the room, save for Sally's whimpers, was deafening. Jill's entire world, her entire high-end mighty facade, crumbled in a single second. And then, because the universe loves to twist the knife, Billy arrives. Of course, he arrives, but he is too late. The timing is so tragically poetic, I want to vomit. He walks through the door, probably holding some romantic takeout or flowers, completely oblivious to the slaughterhouse his living room has become. The transition from his happy, clueless face to absolute, soul-crushing devastation was a masterclass in acting. I was sobbing. I am genuinely tearing up right now just typing this. The way he dropped whatever he was holding and fell to his knees beside Sally, it broke me. It shattered me into a million tiny, irreparable pieces. He is frantically trying to assess the situation, his hand shaking, his voice cracking as he calls out her name. Billy is screaming for help, his hands covered in Sally's blood, looking up at his mother with a betrayal so deep it transcends human language. He realizes in that split second that the monster who did this is the woman who gave birth to him. The psychological damage this is going to inflict on Billy is astronomical. He is already a fragile man. He has already lost his daughter Delia in a tragic accident. He has battled addiction, he has battled depression, and now he is kneeling in a pool of blood watching the woman he loves potentially lose their child because of his own mother. How much trauma can one man take before he completely snaps? I am calling it right now. Billy's villain arc is about to go nuclear. He is going to burn Genoa City to the ground, and honestly, I will hand him the matches, I will bring the gasoline. What the literal heck is going to happen now? Is Sally having a miscarriage? Is the baby gone? The amount of blood makes it look impossible for that child to survive, but this is a soap opera, so maybe there's a miracle. But even if there is, how does Sally survive this physically and emotionally? How does she ever look at Billy without seeing the mother who tried to end her child, and Jill? Jill is going to have to live with this, or, knowing her, she tried to cover it up and blame Sally for being clumsy. She will probably hire Michael Baldwin and try to spin a narrative that Sally tripped over a rug. I am manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update. I want arrests, I want courtroom drama. I want Jill Abbott in an orange jumpsuit being escorted into a squad car while Victor Newman watches and laughs. I am literally pacing around my living room right now, ignoring all my errands, ignoring my responsibilities, because my grip on reality is completely slipping. This situation is now my entire personality. I cannot focus on anything else. Will Sally be saved? Will the paramedics arrive in time? Will the baby make it? Will Billy ever forgive his mother? Or is this the final, fatal blow to the Abbott family dynamic? I am too unwell to handle the gravity of these events. I am going to be staring at the ceiling until 4 a.m. trying to process this. My group chat is blowing up, we are all collectively losing our minds, and I genuinely need a support group for this specific storyline. If anyone needs me, don't. I am officially out of order until we get the next episode. This is a mess, a beautiful, tragic, unfiltered emotional train wreck, and I am strapped in for the ride. Send thoughts, prayers, and maybe a sedative, because your bestie is not okay.